So turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
I knew it. I didn't take another bite on purpose.
If you're listening, Courtney has homemade bell buns, which she is indulging in while we're recording. But yeah, thanks for joining us for another recap of The Last of Us. We will be recapping episode 6, entitled Ken. Courtney, how's it going?
It's going well. I'm, again, a Pedro Pascal stan. I found out that possibly we were going to get Mandalorian and Last of Us spillover.
Mm-hmm.
I would be so insufferable.
Yeah, he has those.
Michael's like, are you searching for Pedro Pascal on Twitter? I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Just like keyword searching his name. That's where I'm at mentally.
But yeah, this
And Jonathan Majors.
Not even gonna.
How are you doing?
I am doing fine. I am great.
Your kitchen's not great.
My kitchen's not great. You didn't have to reveal that either. Like we could have kept that between us.
You could have lied.
I could have lied.
What are you talking about? You could just gaslight me.
What are you talking about? Yeah. Look, I live a very busy life. And, sometimes things...
No longer unemployed.
Yeah, no longer unemployed. Yeah, and sometimes things just don't get done in a timely manner. But we're here. The podcast is here. Kind of a day late, but we're here. But yeah, let's jump to the episode. How do you feel about starting the episode with, like, the flashback to, like, Sam and Henry?
I like it. Like I said, I like the non-chronological storytelling because the game was kind of like that a little bit. I like it. I think it's an interesting way to do it. Like, some people feel a lot of ways about flashbacks. I like it as long as it's executed well and it makes sense. So, and again, it's like almost like part of my mind is like, well, maybe it's just like Joel or dreams, you know what I mean? Because people are probably going to have dreams as to how things were in the past. So it makes sense. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. I felt like it added a nice touch because it like reinforces the idea. Because I always say about how I hate like being spoon-fed information, but this is like just in case you forgot, this is what happened and this is how they're dealing with it. So I like the brief little glimpse into like the actions of the previous episode, which is unfortunately the deaths of Sam and Henry, characters that we accounted earlier. But yeah, I think it was a nice touch to show that first. Quick? Yeah, go right ahead.
Talking about Sam and Henry, people are always getting upset with how like traumatic this show is. Like that's literally the point of the show. Like people are like, it's just too much. Like then stop watching. Like this is HBO. Like I can't remember the last, unless it's a comedy special. Even then, those is it like Happy Go Lucky. It's a show about the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, the setting is a zombie apocalypse.
And it's like a really bad one.
Yeah. That's not where
I just noticed that. And like when you said Sam and Henry, like it's almost too much. Like it's a drama.
You're damn right it's too much. Like, yeah, that's the point.
Anyway, I just had to get that across. Like as soon as I thought of saying it's not too much to me. To me, it's in a way that makes sense. And even with what was it, episode 3? What was the episode? It was episode 3. Like that wasn't all just sad. That was a lovely story.
Yeah, but I want to actually stop there because you like raise a good point because it's not like all just like torture porn either. It shows like what these characters like have to deal with in like these very bleak times, and it shows like when something good happens they can only hold on to it for like so long before it gets bad again, and how they deal with those things and how like we're actually like the character progression in this show is like so great because like we haven't had the same two characters in like in like each episode. I mean, like they're physically there, but I mean, like as far as like their
The
personality, how
focus.
they react to
Yeah.
things. Yeah, yeah. So like
It's
we've seen them
fantastic.
progress like so much over like these 5 or 6 episodes. So, interesting critique. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, this is just not like stick to the TikTok acting.
Yeah.
Like the like just stop.
Yeah. Oh no.
Not everything needs. Okay, you know what? I know people are always like Marvel has ruined everything.
Yeah, it has.
Marvel has ruined it in the sense that like people die. It's okay.
Not like
We lost the progress that Game of Thrones made. You want to make anything okay with people dying because it just happens. Because Marvel keeps bringing people back.
yeah, and not like
I know people keep
tertiary
using that
characters
scapegoat, but
either.
I think
Yeah.
that to me that's the truth.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Check out how check out our other podcasts how Marvel has ruined consumerism. But anyway, back to this episode. So once again, the writing is good because we shift from that to like a scene like in the snow, like a guy. I'm assuming like he was hunting like rabbits or something. Anyway,
because
he's
it's in the
bringing
game, they were hunting rabbits.
yeah, he's bringing the rabbits into his house. His wife is sitting there, and she's just like nonchalantly like, "Hey, like we have guests," and of course it's Joel, and then they have that conversation. So basically, as we know, Joel is trying to get to Tommy, but we know he's close-ish because it's like a lot of snow. It's like a lot of snow, but Joel is like, "Where the hell am I?" And the guy tells
Wyoming.
him, yeah, and the guy
Modern
tells him
day,
like,
you'd say that.
and the guy's like, "You are in the last place you want to be, Wyoming."
No, Boston.
But
Speaking of, Ron, that's a bullet you just dodged.
yeah.
Anyway,
After-
Wyoming is like top 5, but it's not number 1.
Yes, definitely top 5.
Anyway,
But yeah, the guy says that they were good because, and this can't be truer, they are good because no one wanted to live there before the zombie apocalypse. So they've been there chilling.
yeah, and I think she was like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Also, I love the inclusion of an obviously indigenous couple because it's Wyoming. And that's where you're going to find a lot more. To me, I was like, that makes me happy. Mm-hmm. Like this show, I think, does a really good way of making it inclusive in ways that make sense.
Right.
I just wanted to mention that, like.
Yeah, and like you said, it makes sense. It's not forceful at all. It's like, okay, indigenous people, Wyoming, that's where they would be. Makes sense.
Unlike Lovecraft Country. Anyway.
Yeah, which was people let go of that show. But anyway,
let it go.
But yeah, Joel is trying to find his way west, and it's the quote that I like. Oh, if you're trying to find your way west, go east. But yeah, Joel's asking him like, what's on the other side of like this river that he's told not to cross, and it was like, yeah, death. There's like infected. There's like uninfected.
But it's like that on purpose.
Right. It's like that on purpose. Yeah.
Just like they got it set up like all secretive, like it's Wakanda. I'm not medicated. That's why my brain went. But I'm just saying that, like, it's like there's nothing there, and then you've got like this perfect society.
Yeah. So I mean, if your brain hasn't been damaged by like MCU movies and you're able to pick up a context clues, you know that the bodies are scattered on the border of whatever this is as a message to like keep out, do not come here, because this is what happens if you cross that river and you come here. Once again, don't have to like lay it in your lap, but it's there. Don't come here. But since Joel is looking for Tommy, they go there. They go there. Trying to think of trying to make sure I have my timeline right, because the watch happens like before they cross over. They cross over the next day, because I wanted to mention the watch, which is we're building up to something here, but this is like number one of the things that happened. Joel is like, I'll take first and second watch. You can sleep.
This is very different from the game too, yeah.
But in
the show, they're like, he's like building that trust up. Because he's like,
Yeah,
I'm an old dude.
exactly. Yeah.
Sorry.
No. I want you to mention that because in the show, he offers to take first and second watch, but he wakes up and Jolie and Ellie is like looking. I combine
It's
their
like
names.
the town in
I
Illinois.
yeah.
Places you don't want to be.
Do not want to be there. But Ellie wakes him up and she's like, "Hey, you fell asleep, so I just took over." Very important that you just keep that in the back of your mind because
And
it's
he's like, oh wow, I'm really shitty at
mhm.
helping protect another human because he's getting old and
He's
more and more deaf in one
yeah,
ear.
very much so. Yeah, which is once again another nice touch. It shows you that these actions over time have consequences. So
And in the game, he's not deaf in one ear, and I love that
mhm.
addition.
Yeah, so do I. It like makes so much sense. Um, but yeah, he gets pretty mad with Ellie. He's like, "Hey, when that happens, you need to wake me up." And she's like, "Yeah, dude, I got it. Whatever you told me. I watched my six. I took the high ground. I have my gun. We're good."
And a
So
fair point by her, because like
yeah,
if he has to be woken up from sleep, then how good of a watch is he?
not very good. Yeah. So good thing she was able to wake up because they could have possibly been mauled by wolves or foxes or whatever. But yeah, they finally do attempt to like cross over, into the place. And they're met by a group of people.
On
Or do
horses.
you wanna talk about the people and the horses?
Yeah, so this is very different from the game. In the game, they just go up to a gate, but we'll get there. So it's this group of people with a dog, and they're like, "What are you here for?" He's like, "I'm just traveling west." He's not saying I'm here for my brother, because you never know, they might have beef with Tommy.
Right.
But and then they're like, "All right, we'll let you pass through." But there's also where he's like, "My name's Joel," and then there's this lady who's like, that's very important to mention because he matches a certain description. But anyway, they have this dog that is apparently good at sniffing out fungus. So this is this very good, excellent, shall I say, moment of tension because most of the time he's fine. Ellie's technically infected. So there's like this moment where like, is she gonna get mauled by this dog? But the dog's just like licking her. But it's been like a month since she got bit the last time, so I guess like the infection's out of her body. So I think that just proves more.
Yeah.
Either that or it's a shitty dog.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the dog like has gotten people before for where they feel that confident.
Yeah, the dog has clearly gotten people before.
It's probably can smell the blood.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something because, like, realistically, right? Because they try to be pretty realistic on the show. Like, they can smell it in the blood. She's all the way healed up.
Mm.
So I don't like dogs can't just like sense things, right? People think they can, they can't. It probably can smell it in the blood. Is what I would probably guess.
Kind of like a zombie bloodhound. But yeah. But yeah, it's very important to mention this because this is like thing number 2. We're telling you to remember these things, but this is thing number 2 because there's a moment where Joel wants to do something as the dog is like, like running up to Ellie, but he's like petrified. He can't move, and
it's
then
almost like, should I mention it? Should I not mention it?
Yeah.
Because Harry can explain that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, and he's just petrified there, and he can't move. And then like the moment he thinks about doing something, like he hears laughter, and Ellie is like just like, "Oh, good boy, good boy, good boy." But yeah, it's important to mention the lady on horseback that's like, "Oh, I recognize that chin because that chin." No, I'm joking. She's like, "Hey,
I mean,
the guy you're talking about, I happen to know him. I will take you to him." Yeah.
it turns out they're married. But anyway, we get this like really heartfelt moment between Joel and Tommy, and it's way better than the game because Joel's like, whatever, baby brother, but like in this one, like it's the first time we've seen Joel get emotional since episode 1. So I think that's again Pedro Pascal. I mean, not just because it's him, but he's like such a good actor.
Yeah, actually, and this is where I also want to put a pin here to stop because I think if it were a lesser writers plural, or a lesser actor, basically Joel's actions from here on out would seem like, I mean, they are, but they would have come off differently. They would have seemed like incredibly like inconsiderate and selfish and self-centered. But I think when Joel sees Tommy, ultimately his mission is like, "Hey, Tommy, you need to come with me," and it later changes to like just take Ellie. But I think his actions are like because like all this mention of like family and having somebody like Tommy's now the last person that he has. So when he sees Tommy, he's like it's almost like, hey
And
man, like
Tommy's a bit younger. I think he's like
yeah
8 years younger, between 5 and 8. He's significantly younger.
yeah. So he's like, hey, we did all these things together, so these things should continue. But Tommy's like, nah, man, I have my family here
You're in the commune, which we should
on the
mention is
commune.
like a the really funny moment. He's like, "This isn't communist," and she's like, "It's in the word."
It's
Commune,
literally
communist.
a commune.
Like
And
where
he's
it makes sense, yeah. And she apparently, and the irony is that she used to be like the district attorney for I think Washington, and he's a criminal, so it's just like funny, like in this world. But she's like the leader, and they're democratically elected, and it's really perfect. They have electricity, and if you just look at that as opposed to like the former ones, like one, they're really secret. They didn't have to really overthrow anybody, and it's like a community effort. So that's the difference. And it's really kind of perfect in a way. And this place is very important because we'll come back here later on. It's very important. It's perfect. And also because like you don't have to worry about infected really because it's too cold.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, it's like the
So
perfect
if I remember
location.
maybe going to like significantly cold places. How is Canada doing?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you have to like stay in
Oh my god, could you imagine zombies in Toronto? We talked about, oh my god.
yeah, like
New place I wouldn't want to go even before a zombie apocalypse, but like after.
Yeah, like the Juneau, Alaska, like zombies.
Oh my god, I just like. Could you imagine how like Drake's already kind of annoying? Could you imagine Drake is like a
Yeah. Like a
because
zombie
he's already got Jaws on him too. That's really crazy.
Yeah, just imagine a zombie just coming out in like a Vince Carter jersey. Or something, like,
Oh, that's gonna be on the highlight reel. Wait, this is what we need to do so badly. Anyway, we're in Wyoming, which is almost Canada anyway. So, yeah, they have this perfect commune. I think they allude to the fact that she's pregnant. They even have a restaurant, by the way. There's a restaurant.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that a restaurant? And electricity. They have movie nights.
Yeah, that sounds like pretty.
There's probably kids there that don't even know what the infected look like.
Yeah, they probably have like zero knowledge of like what's like outside of those walls. Which is, hey, sign me up.
And the thing is, like, they make it look as like boring and dead as possible to avoid raiders, and it's working. Because there's always gonna be someone that wants to ruin it for everybody.
Yeah, really. There's always gonna be like that one person, that wants to ruin it for everybody.
Yeah, it's like perfect, and then Tommy almost doesn't agree, but we have this really heartfelt moment from Joel where his reasoning really is that he can't take care of her. And Tommy finally agrees. He's like, this is my last thing I'll ask of you. He's like, please, we can right all the wrongs we did. So he's going to agree, but then Joel and Ellie have this huge argument. Do you want to kind of go over what the argument details? So by the way, it's like word for word from the game in a really great way.
Yeah, first I want to so the things that I've been telling, you, the listener and the viewer, to keep in your mind. This is why like Joel has that like acknowledgement that he can no longer take care of Ellie, because he almost gets his ass kicked by by the kid um when they're that's in Kansas City, right? So yeah, he almost gets his ass kicked by the kid. Like, um, he fell asleep on watch. The dog was about to rip Ellie to shreds and he did nothing. Like, so basically he's realizing that he's getting older, he's lost his step. Tommy is still like, pretty spry. He can take care of Ellie. And and yeah, I think he's like, hey Tommy, all the things that I did for you to have this life right now, like you kinda owe me one. So I think that was a good moment. And I think Tommy, like, almost in a very like little brother way, I think he was like, I don't want to leave my family, but for you, big bro, I got
Like
you,
that's the
because
thing is
he
like
was
only
about
a
to do
little
it.
brother would do.
Yeah, because he was about to do it, but um, so it's funny that and like, I'm not gonna jump too far here, but I just want to say before we set this up, it's funny that the events that end the episode happened based on like what could have happened, because Tommy was
Mhm.
about to leave with Ellie, but something differently happens, and
The
basically
whole
it's
game
almost
would have
like,
gone very
yeah,
differently.
it's almost like Joel was right, because he definitely lost a step. But yeah, actually, would you yeah, get into the conversation between
Joel and
Ellie,
Ellie.
Joel and Ellie? Yeah.
So basically, she gets very upset at this notion, which is kind of shocking to him. They developed a bond, which is what he didn't want.
Hmm.
But and honestly, maybe he had a good point to it because this was business, right? So she had to have known they were going to depart, but she's a child, so you can't just be like, oh, she should have known. She's like, well, oh, we need to rewind. So what's her name? The district attorney. She had mentioned that Joel had a daughter, which she should not have mentioned because Ellie plays that card, which enrages Joel. I mean, enrages, rightfully so, because she's like, I'm not your daughter. And he's like, yeah, I'm sure as hell not your dad. But she's like, everyone has abandoned me or died, which is true. And he storms out, and later they reconcile, and he agrees to be the one to take her, which is probably not the smartest. This is probably when Joel's judgment starts to falter a little bit. Because you could tell because he was having like the flashback of, he saw this woman in the crowd. He looked a lot like grown up. It probably just got Tandy Newton
Yeah, probably
to do
like, hey,
it.
what are you doing this one day to
Right,
like
because
just come?
you just happen to look just like your kid. And then what looked like would probably be his grandkid, because that's how old he is. Remember, he's old enough to be a grandfather. And then I think that affected him. And then he says that he has dreams every night, and I think it's basically how episode 2 starts. Is he relives the death of Sarah over and over and over again, and I think he wants to prove that he can protect a daughter. And it doesn't go well after this. I think this is like when it doesn't go well. You'll
Yeah, I
eventually
think
know what we're talking about.
yeah, I think this point of the episode, because like I knew where we were heading, like is where I started to feel like just a overwhelming like sense of dread, because once again, when you get those like tender moments and like you
Oh,
because
there is a
because
sense of dread. That's the thing. It's beautifully done. It's
mhm,
tender, but there's a sense of dread there.
mhm. because like because like here's the thing, like you get to see like this beautiful place where like, because Ellie has like an offer to like stay. We should mention that too. Like they're like, hey
Mm-hmm.
Ellie, like you don't like this is a crazy old man. You don't have to go with him. You can stay here.
That's right.
But
She was talking about
yeah.
like the district attorney,
Mhm.
because they do not know. He doesn't even tell Tommy about her immunity status, does he?
He does eventually,
He
which is
does
why he's like,
eventually,
yeah, which
which
is
is where
why
Tommy's
he's
like, "Oh shit, we really
mhm,
do need to take her because
right,
she could."
right.
And I think that's where Tommy thinks about his family, because he's like a
Mhm.
world of his future child.
Yeah, basically you can like
Mhm.
raise your family proper if like we can like get this antidote, get this whatever, get this vaccine, whatever, to make sure that your family is good down the line. But yeah,
Mhm.
so we get to see like this perfect little commune. But as we know, like in this show, like there's like you can't stay still, like you can't stay solitary because something is always coming. So it's like they know they have to go. So they go, they find this facility with like monkeys, just lots of monkeys. They see the firefly symbol, which is they think they're there. They leave the horses outside. They go rummaging through a building. They see people outside. They try to run back to the horses. One catches Joel, and then they
Stabby stab.
scuffle, and then
And he makes
Joel
the
is
Steve
stabbed.
Irwin mistake.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm going to say this as a healthcare worker. If you get stabbed, and I know this is against instinct, do not pull the object out of your body. Can you say why, Ron? Because I feel like it's common sense.
I mean, yeah, because like
You're
that is like, yeah.
And then so like basically what that object is doing, it's keeping you from bleeding out.
Yeah,
And
because
most
the
of the time,
moment you pull
especially
that out,
with
it's
the
just
knife,
going to
because
come.
it's serrated.
Mm-hmm.
When that knife is serrated, you're going to do more damage, which is what he does. And that's, I'm just saying, this is it's been long enough since he died. If Steve Irwin wouldn't have pulled out the stingray's tail, he would have been alive today. So I just want to PSA that. Dever,
I'm already.
If you just stop Dever, pull, be like, all right, I'm going to keep the knife.
Yeah,
and then walk away.
Like, look, I'm
But
already
seriously,
sad
don't ever
about
pull it
Joel.
out. That's his mistake.
I'm already sad about Joel. We don't need to bring up the stink right now. No, I'm joking. Thank you for those tips, though. But
yeah. So anyway, yeah, he gets in trouble, and then he does the worst possible, which is rip it out. And the thing that he feared happened very quickly.
Very quickly, like immediately.
He's old.
like just like one stop away, essentially.
Yeah, like literally, it's like it's supposed to be like a safe point.
Yeah.
It's like going to the gas station as soon as you leave your parents' house.
Yeah.
Like, be safe when you get robbed at the gas station 5 minutes away. Like, that's how dramatic. It's like, hey, Mom. Yeah, I'm at the Chevron down the street.
But what were your thoughts when like these actions were taking place in this episode? And because like if we want to go back to previous recaps, you thought this would be the end point of the season.
This is where I thought this season would end.
Right. And we got this episode 6, so like 3 episodes left.
So next episode is if you ever played the DLC, a certain character by the name of Riley will be there. So the next episode we will not find out what happens. But we get to see how Ellie got bitten.
We'll say this. So if you're if you were, I'm being sarcastic when I say this, if you're fans of the Bill and Frank episode, boy, do we have some revelations about Ellie for you. Like a lot about Ellie was like revealed in this episode, because we also forgot to mention that we have that we possibly got like
there's a certain somebody peeking with certain features, and if you play the second game, it's a certain love interest.
Yeah, so
because they think Ellie is cute.
Yeah, this one's for you if you enjoyed the Bill and Frank episodes. Lots in store for you.
Nothing is for you.
But yeah,
go to Walmart, enjoy Straight Pride.
But yeah, I thought that was a really interesting place to like end the episode, because I was like, oh shit.
The only straight place ever I can think of is Wesley's Booby Trap. Go there.
I don't even know what is that?
How do you not know what that is? Are you even from but you're from Demopolis, so you're not like from like the Birmingham area.
Yeah.
So I only know about this extensively because my daddy used to own a pizza joint in Summerton. It's in Summerton. You know, Walker County, right? Summerton. And this was mentioned by the James Spann too. It's a strip club, but Walker County.
Never mind.
But Walker County. There's like a rumor that someone is like stripping with a prosthetic leg, even. The joke is like, again, it's like Walker County strippers. It's Wesley's Booby Trap, and like booby is like 2 eyes. But anyway, like it became even more iconic, like at a newscast, like in 2014. When James Spann is like, all right, if you're like just past Wesley's booby trap, it's just I've never been inside. My curiosity
it's a
will not
County,
get the
I hope
better
not.
of me. But apparently, it's like very interesting, the selection. So let's say if like you can't make it, obviously like top of the line Atlanta strip clubs, you can't get there. Can't get the Birmingham strip clubs for a job. Can't even get an OnlyFans gig. Like option Z is Wesley's booby trap. They'll hire anybody.
Sorry, I'm just
like
because
there's some inappropriate things that like are not like it's just like. But that's what that is. I don't know how we got on there.
because like Walker County probably has like the ugliest people in the nation per capita.
That's what
So
I'm
like
saying.
I cannot
That's the
imagine.
joke. It's like the
Yeah.
strip like or an ugly or there's like a little bit on the odd side.
Nah. See, I lost my train of thought. What were we
I
talking
don't even know
about?
how we got there. It was relevant.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
that's right.
shit.
Straight pride. Like that's like the most
yeah.
straight hetero place I can think of. Go there.
Yeah. But
But
yeah,
episode will not be for you.
But yeah, to wrap this up, I guess.
It's hard because they were even mean about like Bella Ramsey's attractiveness. Like, go away.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, she's like a teenage character, so let's not talk
And
about.
also like 20 years old in real life.
Yeah, like
you're 35.
Yeah. So
And
yeah,
you make
let's
podcasts.
not even talk about that.
Sorry, my dad just
I was
texted me.
supposed to say,
I know.
I was supposed to say,
So my
are you
dad
sneak
just
dissing me?
texted me 5 minutes ago. And he's like, can you call me? And I'm like, no, I'm on podcast. And he said, what's a podcast?
Keep it that way.
Keep it that way. Anyway.
Keep it that way. Yeah.
Like, it's like a radio show, but worse.
Yeah, much worse. Yeah.
Anyway, yes, just stick to the podcasts that are not ours. Don't listen to us. All of those type of podcasters are ended up in jail, though. So
Yes.
you know who's not in jail? Us.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah. So the next episode will be great. It's gonna be a lot like the Bill and Frank episode.
Yeah, it
Get your
just
tissue
like
box.
it just the fact that we're like that we're ending. So basically, we thought where this episode ended would be the end of the season. So with that being said, I think we still like have like.
How many? Where are we on? We're there's 10, right?
I think 9.
9.
So the next is 7. Then there's 2 more after that. Which means I like the pacing because it like keeps you on your toes. Like you don't know where
it
it's
might
going.
end in a certain way. Which I'm fine with at this point. I like the pacing.
The pacing has been I've enjoyed the pacing.
It's been, I mean, like especially if like the last episode is 90 minutes or something.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to be.
I'm gonna say
that's what HBO does with their final episodes. The final episodes of seasons are always like kind of long.
Like,
but we don't know the length yet.
I know we're talking like before we got on air, but I don't know. I still might hold on to like, is Pedro Pascal signed on for season 2?
There's no way they can do that.
I mean, they're not afraid to time.
We don't have enough episodes.
But I mean,
like,
this could
episode 8, right? No, 7 is gonna be the DLC.
So humor me with this. All right,
we're just gonna enter spoiler territory. If you haven't played the games, we just gotta say it out loud.
So I know Joel's death. Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I know Joel's death in the second game is pretty contentious. We have Neil Druckmann here, who would have been like, "Hey, this is I had a few more other things on the storyboard of like how this could have happened."
Oh, so you're thinking he gets killed in a different way in time? But here's the thing: he has to die in a certain way for that whole Abby storyline to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like a counter revenge.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Ellie has to get angry at Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Abby has to kill Joel in front of Ellie for that whole part of the game to happen. Which I know people hate, but I didn't. I think it could have been done differently, but he's gonna have to die. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, you're not gonna have a 60-year-old main playable character. My dad is 60. He would just probably say, kill me.
Yeah, like if my dad was like a playable character in a video game, I'm not getting that
I
video
mean,
game.
it could be like The Sims.
Yeah,
It's the
I
only
am
thing
not.
you do. No offense.
I am
My dad
not.
in his prime, absolutely.
Yeah.
But my dad in his 60s, like, he
Oh,
would
my.
just he would get annoyed by the zombies. He was like, you're being
Yeah.
too loud, first of all.
Yeah. Yeah, like he'd just be like, "Shut up all that damn noise," and then like just slam the door.
And
Like
he'd
that
be
would be the
like,
game.
ironically, because I'm chewing, he'd be like, you're chewing too loud to
Yeah.
a zombie. And they would probably be like, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't control like how I chew. I'm a ravenous like creature. Like I
And then
can't
he'd be like,
control.
all right, the thermostat. Even though it's like not working.
Yeah.
Or like on the commune and there's no electric bill.
Hmm.
He's like, we're turning that shit back up.
He'd be like, close that screen door. You're letting
But yeah,
all
the
good
most
air out.
beautiful thing about this is like, even though we've played the game, right? We don't really know how it's gonna end.
Yeah, that's part of the journey. Yeah.
But I will say, from interviews, they say season 1 looks like game 1. Game 2 is 2 seasons. And Neil Druckmann, we might make a 4-season show with Neil Druckmann making more seasons. I would be down.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah.
It's anyway. Show is still wonderful. I think IGN rated this episode 9 out of 10. I would agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think
notes
the
for me.
only 10 out of 10 was Bill and Frank for me. And that's not to say the show is not fantastic. It's just you really are not going to top that episode. And they know they're not going to top that episode. Like, that's, to me, one of like the best episodes of television I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think I said that then. I was like, this is like what the second or third episode. I was like, yeah, there's no way it gets better than this, but that's like in a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah.
They're going to win Emmys off that episode.
Yeah, definitely.
So congratulations to Nick Offerman for your first Emmy win.
Yeah, and shout out to
What's his name? I think the other guy already has an Emmy.
Damn, I forgot his name. It's like Murray
He's in White
something.
Lotus.
Yeah, I was about to say shout out to him for finally being in something good because White Lotus wasn't good. But with that being said, thanks for
We
watching.
love Jennifer Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge is cool. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Until next time.
I can't believe the
Peace.
Vince joke you made.